guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim and this is Expedition Through Pages. Today I'm going to be playing my TBR game, which is called Tales from Two Trails, for the month of October, and find out what I'm going to be trying to read in the month of October. This video is also my very first video that I've put out since my last TBR video. And yeah, I'm really sorry about that. I don't know what happened in September, but I feel like it just went by in a flash and then suddenly it's nearly October and I haven't filmed any other videos, which is really sad because I love making videos. I am pretty busy over the next couple of months as well, but hopefully I'll be able to put out a little bit more content than just my TBR game in the next couple of months. So let's start with how I did in September and go through all the prompts and work out what I've read. And then I'll go through what you guys read in the month of September, and then we'll work out what that means for the game between what everybody has read. So the very first prompt that we got last month was read a book featuring water, and for that I chose, well, the last half of Assassin's Fate by Robin Hobb, and this is the very last book in the realm of the Elderlings, which is a 16-book series by Robin Hobb, which is completely epic and amazing, and I think everybody should read it. Yeah, so this is the very, very last book, and I did finish it. I knew I would, and this book was amazing. It was really good. I can't tell you anything about it, what with it being the very last book. I can't believe that Robin Hobb created this world in her head. Like, to me, this whole world is real, and I love so many of the characters in the book. And yeah, when I finished this book, I definitely had about a week of mourning, like the whole series, like with it just being the very last trilogy, and she might be writing more, she might not be writing more, we don't actually know. And it just felt really sad when I'd finished, and I was really upset about it, I won't lie. I finished it just before the Queen died, and then I couldn't process the Queen dying because I was processing the end of the realm of the Elderlings. Make of that what you will, I don't know. But yeah, I was really, really, really sad about this book. I thought it was a fantastic last trilogy, to be honest. I think this whole last trilogy was my favourite one in the whole of the realm of the Elderlings. The way that Robin Hobb writes her characters is absolutely fantastic. I just am in awe that she can write so well about so many different characters, like good characters, bad characters, old, young, male, female. I just feel like she just gets people and she can really she really understands her characters, and every single character has so much depth to them. There were things that happened that I didn't even consider, and I just think, yeah, it's amazing. I didn't even predict it. I didn't even think about it, didn't even cross my mind, but they still happened and they still made total sense. But it was fantastic. Weaving all the stories of all the 5 trilogies together is just, it was fantastic. Okay, good. So featuring water, I completed. The next prompt that we got was read your least anticipated book. And so for that, I picked The Difference Engine by William Gibson and Bruce Sterling. This is like a punk rock. No, it's not punk rock. This is like a steampunk book set in the 1800s. And I did start it, but I only got to page 18 or something, and I just wasn't feeling it, and I just thought, you know what, I'm not going to put myself through it, I'm not going to read it. I don't know whether or not to give it away, because I don't know if it's just I wasn't in the mood for it, or if it's just not going to happen and I'm not going to read it, I'm not going to like it, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I just decided I didn't want to read it this month, and so I didn't complete my least anticipated prompt, sadly. Next up, we got Second Chance Author. And for this, I picked, Philip K. Dick was my second chance author. I read The Android's Dream of Electric Sheep, didn't like it. The Man in the High Castle was the one that I picked up from the library in the end. And I only got to page 16, guys. And I was actually planning on reading this because the first 16 pages I didn't mind so much, I did quite like. So I thought, maybe I will enjoy the book. But it's nearing the end of September and I've got a busy few days, and I just think I'm not going to finish it now. The other thing is this is a library book, and I'm getting really anxious about all my unread books on my shelves. And I think I'm holding back a little bit because it's the library book and I just want to read what's on my shelves at the moment. So I think I'm going to really, really try this month to not put any books that aren't on my shelves onto this month's TBR, because they're piling up, guys. It's piling up. It's getting overwhelming. I need to get on it before I start buying other books. I already bought 3 more books today, but don't tell anyone about that. So yeah, I also didn't complete Second Chance Author. Although I do have slightly higher hopes now for Philip K. Dick, because I didn't hate the first bit. the first 16 pages. Next up was read the first book in the first YouTube video that you find. And for that, I scrolled down to Amy Bowman's channel, Amy's Bookish Life. And the first book in that video was The Little House on the Prairie. And I was going to read Little House on the Prairie, but I looked it up and it's actually part of a series and it's not the first one. The first one is called The Little House in the Big Woods. I think that's what it's called. Little House in the Big Woods, yeah. Yeah, that's what it's called. By Laura Ingalls Wilder, I believe. I think that's the name. I actually listened to this on Scribd, on audio. So yes, I'm going to count it as a win because I couldn't read the third book in the series. I had to read the first one. So yeah, I didn't want to read multiple books for this prompt, so I just decided to go for that one. I didn't know anything about Little House on the Prairie before this. Or about the series in general, but basically Laura, the author, wrote, it's kind of semi-autobiographical story about her childhood growing up in the big woods in this version, and obviously on the prairie in the Prairie book. But I actually had quite a good reading experience reading this book, listening to it especially. It was well-produced audiobook. There was actually music in it because there's songs throughout the audiobook, so you kind of got the real vibe of country life. And it was very informative. It was very, very informative. I learned how they made butter back then. I learned how they hunted all the animals and killed them and what they used all the different bits for. And I have to say, I'm vegetarian. I'm from London. I don't know anything about farming. I don't eat animals. And the first chapter I found really shocking because I was like, wait, what's happening? You're doing what? You're going out and like... It went into quite a lot of depth about what they did to all the animals and stuff, which I found quite shocking just because I'm vegetarian, I guess. Yeah, I don't often think about it, but it was really interesting to just read about that life and what life was like back then. I just had to look up the date it was actually set in, but it says it's based on her memories of her early childhood in the big woods near Pepin, Wisconsin in the early 1870s. Yeah, so because it was semi-autobiographical, it was so interesting to read about and like just to imagine what it would be like. How she had lived in this little house with her mum, her dad and her two sisters in the middle of nowhere. There was no other houses around. They had to fend for themselves all the time. If she wanted to go and see her granddad, grandparents, it was like a big old trek and planning and, you know, for a big special occasion and stuff like that. And it was really interesting. I really liked Laura, the character. I can't remember how old she was, maybe 6 or something. I can't quite remember. But yeah, very normal kid, like worrying about being jealous of her sister and wanting a doll when her sister had a doll, and, you know, getting one for the first time was like a big deal and stuff. And that was quite sweet. And yeah, it was just really interesting. Definitely, like, it says it's a children's book, but I feel like I would be in two minds to give it, well, no. I mean, it's a good learning book for kids to find out how it was in the past. But then they're like, oh yeah, we were naughty, so dad got the Switch and, like, you know, whacked us with it. And there was like stuff about body images and things which you wouldn't want to be projecting to children now because it's just not right. So there were obviously moments like that, but then it was written so long ago that's why. The big negative of the book for me was that there was this racist song in it, and it was really jarring because I was listening to it and I was like, did I hear that right? Is that right? I felt quite shocked it was still in there, to be honest. I know it was from the original text, but then I do feel like it didn't really give anything to the story. It wasn't relevant in any kind of way. It wasn't making a point. It was just another one of the songs that Dad was singing. So in my opinion, it didn't need to be there. But yeah, so I completed that prompt. So that is a big tick. And then the very last prompt that we had to complete was that somebody else gets to choose a book for you and you don't get any choice whatsoever. And for that, my stepmom actually chose me a book. And she chose me A Single Thread by Tracy Chevalier, which I'll put a picture up here because I'm listening to that on Audible on Scribd now as well. So we've got 4 days left in September and I've got 6 hours left of this book. So I'm going to say that I've read it because I will finish it. And yeah, I am quite enjoying this one as well, actually. It's set, I think it's like 15 years after the war. You're following a woman who lost her brother and her fiance in the war. She was probably going to get married to this guy that she lost in the war. And then after that, there was a real problem with being able to find a partner because lots of men died in the war. So now there's like lots more women than there are men, and she's finding it really difficult and obviously lost the love of her life, presumably. And so now she's 15 years later, she decided to move to Winchester to get away from her mother. And I don't know if it is to get away from her mother or just to be more independent, but her mum's a bit annoying. And now she's trying to get in with the embroidery group in Winchester Cathedral. And yeah, so I don't really know what's going to happen, but I'm quite enjoying it so far. It's quite funny. And yeah, it's not a book that I would ever have picked up for myself. So it's quite nice to be reading like a book completely different to any other book that I'd usually read, just because Anne told me to. So that means I've completed 3 of the prompts out of 5 for September. So now let's go over to the board and find out how you guys did. And I tell you what, if we end up having to go back around the lake again, I'm going to be really upset. So please, please, please let me move forward on the board. I beg you guys. Okay, so here is the board, and this is the space we finished on, which was somebody recommends you a book. If I have to move backwards, I'm going to have to go back around here and out. But if I move forwards, obviously I move forwards. Sometimes I speak the obvious. So let's go on to my last video and find out what you guys read. Okay, so first up we have The Nomadic Teacher, and they completed the prompt, someone else picks a book for you, and they read The Social Instinct, How Cooperation Shaped the World by Nicola Rahani. And they also completed a prompt for a book featuring water, and they read It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. And I completed both of those prompts, yes. So thank you so much, we are moving forward. Okay, next up we've got Heather Hutchins, and Heather completed the featuring water prompt, and she read Sea Glass Summer by Miranda Lyson. And yeah, so we're moving forward again. Amazing. Although we need to get off this red path really badly. Okay, next up we've got Aimee from A Star Reads, and Aimee read For Someone Else Picks a Book for You, City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare for the read-along that she's doing for Bookstar read-alongs. And she's using it as Someone Else Picks a Book for You because the series The Mortal Instruments was picked in a poll for Bookstar read-along, so she had no say in that, she just has to read it. And so I'm going to count that, Aimee. I'm going to let that slide. I think that works. That works well enough. So let's move one step forward. Thanks, Aimee. Okay, next we have Ashley from Ashley's Media Addiction, and Ashley read Memnock the Devil by Anna Rice. No, not Anna Rice. Anne Rice. And that is from the Book Dreamer Ali's video that she saw that on, and so that worked perfectly because she had to read it for a live show, so that worked out amazing. And that also means we can move forward because I also read my YouTube video book. Oh, this is working out great. Okay, next up we've got Michelle McCarver, who just got in there before I filmed my video, luckily. Michelle finished book featuring water, The Boatman's Daughter. Second chance author, she tried How to Stop Time by Matt Haig, but DNF'd the book again. I say that still counts. I'm going to count that because, yeah. And actually it's funny because I don't really like Matt Haig's fiction writing, the ones that I've read, but How to Stop Time is the one I've got left that I'm going to give him his very, very, very last try. I actually forgot about Matt Haig when I got this prompt because I could have also read that. So yeah, that's the book I'm going to read as my very last Matt Haig try before I just give up on his fiction books completely. So it's interesting that, Michelle, you DNF'd it because that does not fill me with confidence that I'm going to like it. Oh no, I do own it. I've got it on ebook, so that's why I always forget about it. I always forget about my ebooks. Okay, thank you so much, Michelle, but I didn't read my second chance author, so I'm going to step back because DNF counts, so I'm going to count it. Next up we got Whitney from Tivera's Den, and Whitney read The Daughter of the Pirate King, which fulfills the water prompt. So I can take a step forward. Thanks, Whitney. This is going so much better than last month. I feel really happy about this. Okay, so that was Whitney's one. And then we've got Louisa. So Louisa also used a poll to pick for the prompt, Someone Else Chooses a Book for You. See, I let Aimee use the poll pick for her one because she didn't pick the series that went on that because everybody kind of suggested different ones. But I will let Louisa have it too, even though you pick the books. That's fine. I'm going to allow poll pick to slide through this time. Anyway, Louisa read for that The Graveside Bar and Grill by Dorinda Jones, and that brings us a step forward. Oh, we might be going down the good waterfall if this is the last one. It's not, we're moving on. Oh, Ashley read another one. Oh, I've already counted it, her ones. Oh, This is another comment. Okay, Ashley also read The Dog Share by Fiona Gibson, and luckily that features water, because I think we moved forward for Ashley's one, didn't we? Yeah. Okay, we can keep that step forward from Ashley. Okay, so next up we've got Aimee. So Aimee read a book featuring water, The Night Swim by Megan Goldin. Also completed Second Chance author, giving a book a second chance, but that still counts because it's still the author you're kind of given another chance to. And for that she read Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Booley. Then for the, was it random number generator, or was it, I think because I mixed up my Bookoplathon prompts with the game prompts, so I probably confused things. I think it wasn't random number generator, I think it was least favourite book, but I did a random number generator. Is that right? I can't remember now, but anyway, for random number generator, I might have got that completely wrong, but for random number generator, Aimee read Plain Bad Heroines by Emily Danforth. And then finally, first book from a YouTube video, she ended up reading When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. So yeah, thank you so much, Aimee. But because I did read my second chance author, back we go. So this is a good one to stop on. So if we have to stop here, that's not bad, because then we move to the green. Yes, that's it. That's where we're stopping. Yes, amazing. Thanks, guys. So we can skip right on over to the green path. And this is really easy prompt. Our very first prompt is fiction. Okay, guys, thank you so much. We have crossed over to the green path, which is great. And we got fiction, which is even better. Basically, free choice, unless you want to read non-fiction. Then it's not free choice. Okay, so the first book that I'm putting onto this TBR is going to be October by Katia Balin, which is a middle grade book that we're actually reading for our book club for the month of October. Actually, when I was reading the blurb, this sounds like Little House in the Big Woods in a way, because you're following a young girl and her father who live in the middle of the woods with like nothing around them at all. They like love to read books together. They go into town once a year, pick their books, come back and just read them all year, just live off the land basically together. And then it says that around her 11th birthday everything completely changes because her dad falls out of a tree, something else happens, and a woman turns up saying that she's her mum. And then basically everything changes from there. So it's called October. It's October. Let's do it. Okay guys, I am so happy that we're on the green path and we didn't have to go back round that lake because that was awful. So now let's do our first roll number 1. 5. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another fiction! Amazing! Another fiction. So the book that I actually chose for this prompt is The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. And this is her first novel, I think. I've never read any Toni Morrison before, and that's why I picked this up. I just picked it up because it's her debut novel, basically. So just from reading the back, I believe it's called The Bluest Eye because it follows a young girl who really wants to have blue eyes like her white, privileged schoolmates. And it's set in the 1940s, post-Depression era 1940s Ohio. So yeah, I'm excited to finally try Toni Morrison and see what her writing's all about. Time for roll number 2. Off the page, doesn't count. Let's try again. 3. I actually got the same number. 1, 2, 3. Guys, free choice. Free choice, guys. Roll number 2 got us free choice. This was going so well, like crazy. The game must feel guilty after last month. That's all I'm saying. So this, I've decided to put a fantasy on, and this is a book that actually Spencer just chose for me randomly in a bookshop that we went to. I can't remember where it was now, but it's The Black Tongue Thief by Christopher Blumen. And the reason, well, I said to Spencer, you can pick any book, and when I saw it I was like, I don't know, and then I saw in the corner it says Dazzling, I heartily recommend this one by Robin Hobb. She's Blood the book. I have to read it. I've just finished Robin Hobb's series. I need something else, so why not try something that Robin Hobb really likes? But yeah, to be perfectly honest, I haven't read the back. I'm just gonna go into it and see what happens. So hopefully I can get to it in October and then let you know my thoughts on it and if I agree with Robin Hobb or if I disagree. Roll number 3. Off the page. What is wrong with me? Off the page. 5. Okay, come on, oh no. What's going on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're back on another water prompt. Okay, my camera dies on me, but we're back, and still celebrating the fact that we're just passing by the lake. Even though this lake is really good, we just stop in to have a little look, and yeah, that's a book featuring water again. Roll number 3 got us another prompt featuring water, so doubling down with the water after last month. And for this, I picked a book that my mum bought me while she was on holiday, which is set in Cornwall, and it's actually set on a little island, I think. Yeah, it looks like it. And that's Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney, and this is a murder mystery book. I never read murder mysteries, but I'm hoping that I quite like this one. We were talking about it in my book club, and someone said, or someone was reading that it was quite, maybe a bit like And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. So I have read that book. I did quite like that. So hopefully I like this one. And yeah, like I say, there's water on the cover, and it's set in Cornwall, and this particular little house is set on an island, so it does sound very much like And Then There Were None. And yeah, there's a murder. I don't know if there's going to be multiple murders or just one murder. Yeah, I just looked, and it's her grandmother's house that's on a little private island. So yeah, excited to read this one, especially because it's like Halloween month, so may as well read some scary stuff. Okay, and oh, we're so close to the end, guys, so close to the end. These don't count, by the way. So my book haul has turned into, I can read what I want for a month, which this month is beginning to feel like I can read what I want. And if I finish on the red path, that means, what does that mean? It means I have to pick from my TBR jar, so I get no choice. So really bad. And finally, roll number 4. 4. Oh, I thought we were going back to the red path for a sec. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is Colour Wheel. So I will do a colour generator in a sec. Okay, and then finally we've got colour generator. So I pulled my colour generator up and screen recorded it, so I'll show you it here. And when I pressed it, we got vermilion. Yeah, vermilion. Is that how you say it? Maybe not. Red. Got red. So yeah, I tried to pick a book that had pretty much that shade of red, but yeah, you can be loose with the red. It could just be red, that's fine. The book I've gone with is actually a non-fiction one because we've got loads of fiction on here. And I'm going to pick up The Girl with 7 Names, Escape from Korea by Hyunso Lee. I've had this for ages on my shelves and I really want to get to it, so I'm glad I could put it on this month when everything else seems quite low-key. There's like middle grade, there's shorter books, there's like hopefully fast-paced books. So hopefully I'll be able to get to this one, no problem. So this is all about how Hyunso Lee got out of North Korea and just what it was like out there, and I guess talking about her childhood there and everything. And even writing this book is like so brave because you're really highlighting yourself. You're not just escaping North Korea, you're like telling everyone about it and how you did it, presumably. There is one other book that I'm going to be starting this month but not finishing, which is why I didn't put it on the TBR even though it is red, and that is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy, which I'm going to be buddy reading with Amy from A Star Reads. And yeah, we're gonna get going with this in October, which I'm really excited about because we've been planning this buddy read for months. So it's good to actually start and see what Anna Karenina is all about. We're not going to finish it, we're going to read parts 1 to 4 I think in the month of October, and yeah, see how we go with it. I'm really excited. I don't know anything about Anna Karenina apart from I think I know the end, which is maybe the worst amount you could know about a book. I don't know if I do know the end or not, but yeah, I think I have been spoiled for this a bit. But I don't know if it's a real spoiler or if it's a part spoiler, I'm not sure. So anyway, I'll soon find out, hopefully, if we can manage to get this beast read in October and November. So yeah, that's it. If you'd like to join in with any of the prompts, then please do. They're super easy this month, so I'm sure loads of people can join in if you want. I will leave instructions on what to do down in a pinned comment, just in the comment section, but it's really easy. Essentially, just let me know what you've read and what prompts they counted for, and then in the month of November I'll go through what everyone read and work out where we start on the board, although we're so close to the end now. So actually I think November's looking like it might be the last month of this round of the game, and then that works out quite nicely because then that frees up Christmas. Oh no, because then what if I end up on the bad square at Christmas, having to read from my TBR jar. Let's hope we finish next month, we finish on a free choice for Christmas, and then that'll be happy days. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay guys, so thank you so much for watching. These are the books that I'm going to be reading in October, hopefully. They look massive now I've piled them up together. Also with the addition of October, the middle grade book as well. So yeah, I'm really excited. I feel really happy with this stack of books. I feel like it's refreshed. I'm going to start again and yeah, get going. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that you all have a fun reading month in October, and I look forward to seeing what you read. See you later.